Hi, I'm Jenna.
And I'm Katie.
We're the Beulah Twins, and you're watching the Capital Off-Track Betting Television Network.
Hello and welcome to this week's edition of Horses and Courses. I'm Jean Wood. We've had a busy weekend of racing despite a cancellation. They did cancel racing on Saturday at Kentucky Downs, which took out the turf portion of the Kentucky Cup Classic. They have postponed it and you'll be able to see it here next week on Horses and Courses. In the meantime, we're going to begin the program down in South Florida at Calder. We're going to begin with the Brave Raj Breeders' Cup for 2-year-old fillies at 1 mile and 70 yards. Let's head to Calder and the Brave Raj.
And they're off. Very even start. Lucky 2 mid-pack is showing speed. Nassim is there on her outside. Gal Wonder is along the rail, and Silkily runs between fillies as they make their way to the turn. Wise Beauty runs along in 5th. Then La Nina de Mis Ojos will save ground into the turn. Post Invader has one beaten right now. That is Pampered Lady, who's 7 lengths back of Gal Wonder going to the backstretch. Gal Wonder and Rosemary Homeister Jr. show the way, and the lead is about a length right now from Silkily. Lucky 2, Nassim, who's caught 4 wide on the turn, but they're coming up to Gal Wonder now after she went a slow opening quarter of 24-2. Onto the backstretch, Lucky 2 has gone up to challenge Gal Wonder for the lead. Silkily races between them 3rd. Nassim's in the clear on the outside. Wise Beauty is mid-pack 5th. She's only got 3 lengths to make up. Then Pampered Lady, who's out of last, right alongside Post Invader. La Nina de Mis Ojos, still room at the inside. Well packed, less than a half mile out. Anyone's race. They're just covered by 4 lengths, and it's still Gal Wonder and Lucky 2. Gal Wonder first to the far turn. Lucky 2 now has to make up 3/4 of a length. Nassim has been wide every step of the way, but she's starting to close in from 3rd. Wise Beauty races between fillies. Silkily is down along the rail. Post Invader's got to go now. She is 5 lengths back, and she's whipped and not going the right direction. It's Gal Wonder who leads them into the stretch. Gal Wonder turns them on down in the Brave Raj, and she's now got a 3-length lead. Wise Beauty out after her. Silkily along the inside. Nassim is not doing enough, but it's Gal Wonder. Gal Wonder, Silkily, Wise Beauty. These 3 going to decide it. Gal Wonder leads the way. She's in front 2.5. Silkily trying to close late with Wise Beauty. Gal Wonder takes the Brave Raj Breeders' Cup. Silkily second, Wise Beauty, and Post Invader.
Gal Wonder picking up the win under Rosemary Homeister Jr. on the front end by 2 1/4 lengths after repulsing a solid bid from Silkily. Wise Beauty picking up the 3rd spot. The winner, Gal Wonder, is a 2-year-old bay filly, a daughter of 3 Wonders from Gainesville Gal by Proud Birdie. Bred in Florida by Hidden Point Farm and owned by Carol Castile. Trained by Larry Pilati and ridden to victory by Rosemary Homeister Jr., Gal Wonder covers the 1 mile and 70 yards in 1:47-1. We'll head right back to Florida now and Saturday's running of the Foolish Pleasure Breeders' Cup Stakes, $150,000. This time, 2-year-old Colton Geldings going 1 mile and 70. Let's head back to Calder and the Foolish Pleasure.
And they're off. El Bandito Rojo stumbled slightly right at the start, but didn't lose any ground. In fact, he's going right up to challenge for the lead. Yes by Jiminy is going with him from the inside. Liqueur moves up into 3rd. Green Vegas is just in behind them. 5 Towns is going to be 3 wide as they go to the turn. Then El Nino de Mis Ojos will save ground. I'm a Wild and Crazy Guy is second last. And the trailer is Legacy Reserve. He's already 10 back as the 2-year-olds make their way toward the backstretch. The leader is El Bandito Rojo with Alfredo Clemente. Solid opening quarter, went in 23 seconds flat. And Yes by Jiminy tracks to the backstretch. He's just a length and a half back and closing in on the leader. These 2 have opened up on the field. Green Vegas is up to 3rd outside of Liqueur, and 5 Towns is in the clear on the extreme outside. El Nino de Mis Ojos is bottled up right now. He's got 9 lengths to make up. Then I'm a Wild and Crazy Guy, and the trailer is Legacy Reserve. The half mile was solid, 47-5. 4. El Bandido Rojo has repelled Yes by Jiminy so far. In fact, he opened up into the turn. El Bandido Rojo, he's got a 3.5 length lead, but here comes Yes by Jiminy once again. Yes by Jiminy hasn't been asked, and he is gliding right up to El Bandido Rojo as they wind their way to the quarter pole. Green Vegas is starting to close in. I'm a Wild and Crazy Guy is 4 wide and coming with his run. Yes by Jiminy takes over. Green Vegas between runners. I'm a Wild and Crazy Guy is there on the center of the track, and it's Green Vegas who gets a short lead with I'm a Wild and Crazy Guy. Green Vegas the inside, and Julio Garcia. I'm a Wild and Crazy Guy, and Juan Leyva trying to stick with him. Green Vegas doing better than I'm a Wild and Crazy Guy, and Green Vegas will win the Foolish Pleasure. I'm a Wild and Crazy Guy, second best, Yes by Jiminy, and El Niño de Mis Ojos.
Green Vegas picking up his first stakes victory. In fact, it's his first victory since breaking his maiden early in the season this year. I thought he looked very impressive that day. He looked very solid, finished up well, and had yet to come back to that performance. However, he did return to it here. The pace set up nicely in front of him. He relaxed in front behind horses, and Julio Garcia rode him perfectly, drawing off by 2 over I'm a Wild and Crazy Guy with Yes by Jiminy, back in the 3rd spot as the favorite. The winner, Green Vegas, is a 2-year-old bay colt, a son of Trippy from Waka Ridge by Cox's Ridge, bred in Florida by the Ocala Stud Farm and owned by Luis Olivares, trained by the owner and ridden to victory by Julio Garcia. Green Vegas covers the mile and 70 yards of the Foolish Pleasure Breeders' Cup in 1 minute 45 flat. We're going to head to Delaware Park next, and Saturday's stakes feature the 1.5 mile Cape Henlopen on the turf. They've moved this race. It used to be run in the spring as kind of an early season prep for some of the distance races over the summertime. Now moving it to the fall. They've drawn a pretty solid field of horses. Let's head down to Delaware in the Cape Henlopen.
As they race into the far turn for the first time. On the front end, it's Willard Straight by 2. General Jumbo racing in second, then a gap of 3 lengths to Always First in third. Rade Violet is going along in fourth. Right alongside that is Prep School, then 2.5 lengths to Choreograph on the outside, and Minister Joy toward the inside. Opening quarter in 25 3. They've still got 1.25 miles to go, and Willard Straight is coming down the straight for the first time, leading it by a length over General Jumbo's edged a bit closer. Still about 3.5 lengths further back. Always First is going easily in third. Up on the outside, Prep School under a tight hold. Rada Violet toward the inside. Then comes Choreograph and Minister's Joy as they canter past the finish line the first time. Willard Straight and Ramon Dominguez showing the way by 1/2 length over General Jumbo right there in second. Half goes in, 52 3. Comfortable 27.25 there for the leaders. Willard Straight on the inside, General Jumbo on the outside. They've got 2.5 lengths on Always First, who's still tracking nicely in third. Then a gap of about 4 lengths further back to Prep School, Rade Violet, Choreograph, and Minister's Joy. They've got about 6 furlongs to go now, opening 6 in 1:18 4. And on the front end, the field begins to bunch up just a bit. Willard Straight by 3 parts over General Jumbo, 2 to Always First, followed by Choreograph right alongside. Prep School is next in line, still under a stout hold, followed by Minister's Joy, and Rade Violet, the trailer. Only about 7 lengths separates the field as the tempo begins to quicken just a bit with just over a 1/2 mile to go. The mile in 1:44 3. Willard Straight, General Jumbo, side by side, partners on the front end. 2 lengths to Always First, who's still a patient third. Prep School down toward the inside, then Choreograph, Minister Joy trying to advance, and Rada Violet still wide open with 3/8 to go. Willard Straight and Dominguez on the inside, still trying to fend off General Jumbo. Always First is now beginning the 3 wide rally, and it's putting in a nice run. 2 lengths to Prep School and Minister's Joy. 1/4 to go. Willard Straight, General Jumbo, and now Always First joining the fray on the far outside. 3 across the track. Always First on the outside, now set down for the drive. Responds, leads it now by 3 parts. Minister's Joy trying to kick in from the back. It's Always First on the front end. Willard Straight, game on the inside, followed by Minister's Joy, General Jumbo, but it's going to be Always First. Well prepped. Off the layoff by Tommy Voss. Wins it by 3. Willard Straight second. Minister's Joy third. General Jumbo fourth.
Always First, coming back off of a January layoff and picking up the victory. His first try on softer grass. This track was labeled yielding, and it was quite soft. In fact, as he gets the 3-length victory over Willard Straight, who took command early. A couple of horses in this race on the stretch out, and you could tell by the early look of them. Under stout restraint was Willard Straight, as well as General Jumbo, who was also involved in the early pace. Always First gets the win from Willard Straight. Minister's Joy rallies into third. Always First is a British-bred bay gelding, a son of Barathea from Pink Crystal by Delam. Bred by D.B. Clark and A.L. and Mrs. Penfold, owned by the Merrifield Farm and trained by Tom Voss. Ridden to victory by Jose Caraballo. Always First covers the 1.5 miles on the turf course, labeled yielding in 2:34 flat. We're going to remain on the turf and this time head to Philadelphia Park for the Larry Riviello President's Cup for older grass horses. Let's head back to Saturday in Philadelphia and the running of the Riviello.
Off and running in the Larry Riviello President's Cup, it was an even dispatch. Touched by Madness, as usual, shows some speed from the center of the course. His Southern Majesty is pushed along by Michelle Luttrell with some early speed, and Just Thunder is in between horses. They link up with the main course, His Southern Majesty leading on the rail, Just Thunder in between horses, Touched by Madness on the outside through the first furlong. Key Event races back and forth, some 5 lengths from the front. Icy Atlantic is 5th on the outside. Lead With Your Chin and Tony Black move into 6th. It's then 2 lengths to Interpretation and the trailer, ball 1, no strikes. 24-4, very tactical opening first quarter here. His Southern Majesty dictates the pace a length. Just Thunder in between horses racing second. A length on the outside, Touched by Madness is third, sitting just off the pace today. 2 lengths in front of Icy Atlantic, who moves in a bit closer to 4th. Icy Atlantic just 3 lengths from the front. Key Event is 5th along the rail. Lead With Your Chin is outside 6th, and drawing in much closer now as the field begins to bunch up. A length to Interpretation, who is 7th, covering the trailer, ball 1, no strikes. The half and 49-1, and the field is just separated by some 4 lengths as they have 3.5 furlongs to go in the Larry Riviello President's Cup, and Key Event begins to move through on the rail as Just Thunder takes the lead. It's Just Thunder from Key Event. His Southern Majesty in between horses and beginning to backpedal. Interpretation moves on to be 4th now. Icy Atlantic has been wide throughout. Lead With Your Chin is coming on the outside. Ball 1, no strikes, looks for a way through. Touched by Madness is done. Top of the stretch, Key Event. It's Key Event to the front. Key Event by 2. Just Thunder second. Interpretation and Tom Turner flying down the center of the course. Key Event, Interpretation on the outside. Interpretation goes to the front, and Interpretation draws clear. Interpretation from Key Event, and Just Thunder. Interpretation wins the Larry Riviello President's Cup. Photo for second between Key Event, Just Thunder, and ball 1, no strikes.
Interpretation, his most recent start, was a 3rd place finish behind Osh Calway and Dreadnought right here at Saratoga. They took a shot. They entered him here with a nice $100,000 purse in an ungraded stakes race, and with the scratch of Rock Lobster and T.D. Vance, it looked like a much easier spot. He went off as the favorite, won by 2 1/4 lengths. His first stakes victory in quite some time, but he has been thereabouts against good company throughout the season. Key Event at 16-1 ran second after getting to the lead at the top of the stretch. Just Thunder completing the order of the top 3 with a stalking trip at 12-1. The winner, Interpretation, is a dark bay or brown gelded son of Langfure from Idealistic Cause by Habitoni. Bred in Kentucky by Larry Cassaday and Jack O. Thompson, owned by Elliot Mavora and trained by Bob Barbera. Ridden to victory by Tom Turner, Interpretation covers the 1 1/8 on the Philadelphia turf in 1 minute 51-4. Once again, we're going to remain on turf and head to Laurel and the running of the John D. Shapiro Memorial. 200,000 on the grass. This is at 1 1/8. This race commemorating the founder of the Washington, D.C. International. Let's head down to Laurel and the Shapiro.
And this time, locked away, and they're off. Clean start for Fishy Advice. Long shot Running Tide is right up there with Bastille next. To the far outside is Fufa's Warrior. And back to Buckeye Wonder and late running Dreadnought. Only 5 lengths covers the entire field in the John D. Shapiro Memorial Breeders' Cup into the first turn. As expected, Fishy Advice going to dictate terms. Fishy Advice clears by 2 from Running Tide and Bastille. Dreadnought is in between horses. And the outside is Fufa's Warrior about the 3 path. And Buckeye Wonder is now last. Front running Fishy Advice trying to carry that speed and and settle down. Fishy Advice opening up 3 lengths. In second is Running Tide, and Bastille is third, and Fufa's Warrior is fourth. Dreadnought is well settled now, about 6 to 7 lengths from the front runner, Fishy Advice, and Buckeye Wonder is the trailer. There's 5/8 of a mile left to go. Easy pace on the firm going. Fishy Advice leading it by a length and 3/4. Running Tide and Bastille followed by Fufa's Warrior racing in the clear. Dreadnought needs a bit of racing room now. In between horses is Dreadnought going to tug right along about 3.5 to 4 lengths from the front, and Buckeye Wonder is the trailer. Bunching up 5 to 6 lengths from first to last, Fishy Advice, Running Tide. Fufa's Warrior to the outside, and out of the fence is Bastille. Dreadnought is right there between horses with a fighting shot too. Gonna have to quicken up now with 3 furlongs to go, and Buckeye Wonder is the trailer. But they're coming to the top of the stretch and just above the quarter pole. Fishy Advice the leader. Fishy Advice, Bastille now cutting that corner into the stretch. Dreadnought is also down on the inside. Dreadnought is now moved into third. Dreadnought's going to have to tip over the final furlong. Bastille's running big at Fishy Advice. Bastille's the horse running big today. Bastille and Joe Rocco Jr. 9-1 and in front. Bastille, Fishy Advice. Bastille powering away. Bastille to win it by a neck. Bastille from Fishy Advice, and Dreadnought was third, and Buckeye Wonder.
Bastille picking up the win by a game neck over Fishy Advice, who tugged aggressively at Mario Pino. Got to about a 3-length lead at one point, but he was really very difficult to relax, as has often been the case. Dreadnought settling for the 3rd spot with an off-the-pace rallying move, but certainly not as impressive as he had been behind Ash Kalway up here in Saratoga. Bastille has now won 3 in a row, all of them under Joe Rocco Jr., including a win in the Polynesian at Colonial last time out. Bastille is a dark bay or brown colt, a son of Quiet American from Bezell by Dominion. Bred in Kentucky by Daniel M. Ryan and owned by Mr. and Mrs. Bertram R. Firestone, trained by James Murphy and ridden to victory by Joe Rocco. Bastille covers the 1 1/8 at Laurel on the turf course, labeled firm in 1 minute 46 and 1. We're going to pause for a brief message, and when we return, we'll be heading to Monmouth Park and Louisiana Downs for a great weekend's worth of stakes racing action. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Horses and Courses. We're going to continue now at Monmouth Park. We'll start with last Saturday's running of the Omnibus Stakes for 3 and up fillies and mares on the grass. Let's head to Monmouth and the Omnibus.
They're racing in the Omnibus Stakes. 60 Rockets had a good start, so did Rahi's Appeal. Now going for the front, though, is Lady Beelzebub. Lady Beelzebub will set the pace, opening up 2 from Honora, who moves up into 2nd position. Then Wrapped Up in You going up on the far outside. Down toward the rail, Rahi's Appeal. Gisellus is right there. At a break of another 2 lengths back, and they're followed by the favorite Naissance Royale. 60 Rockets along the inside. Then Connie Bell, Bend a Little, and Dream Lady will trail the field early as long shot Lady Beelzebub sets the pace at 23 3/4, and she's in front by a length and a half. Honora to the outside, 2nd. Rahi's Appeal saves ground, 3rd. Gisellus follows them. Naissance Royale 5th on the inside, 5 lengths off the lead. And it's Wrapped Up in You, followed by Connie Bell, Dream Lady moving out of last now. 4 deep up the backstretch and 6 lengths off the lead. In the back are Bend a Little and 60 Rockets. Half mile in 48 and 4/5 seconds. A new leader here is Nora has taken over, leads 3/4 of a length, Gisela second, Dream Lady up to third, then it's Connie Bell in fourth, 4 lengths off the lead. Wrapped Up in You is fifth, 5.5 to make up, then Naissance Royale. That's all for Lady Beelzebub, now being passed by Rahi's Appeal into the far turn. And then comes Bend a Little in 60 Rockets. 3/4 in 1, 12 and 4. Just Celis on the outside, and Nora near the rail. Then comes Dream Lady. 2 lengths back to Connie Bell. Naissance Royale, still with 4 to make up. Wrapped Up in You is right to the outside of her, and they're into the stretch. And it's just Celis in front. Dream Lady running at her from the outside. And then Naissance Royale and Rahi's Appeal, who's finishing fast on the extreme outside. It is Dream Lady, Rahi's Appeal, and then Gisella's. Dream Lady won it by a neck over Rahi's Appeal, Gisella's, and Naissance Royale.
Dream Lady picking up the win under Jose Lezcano. Very nice effort from off the pace, 4 wide. In fact, a last to first move. She broke from the inside post. She raced well back off the pace and made that solid 4 wide middle move into contention up the backstretch, rallying wide to pick up a half a length win over long shots Rahi's Appeal and Gisella's, who had gotten herself into the mix fairly early with a stalking trip. The favorite in the field at odds-on was Naissance Royale, who came up a little bit flat in the stretch. Looked like she was in good position, but had nothing more than a rally that brought her up into the 4th spot in the field of 10. The winner, Dream Lady, is a bay filly, a daughter of Old Trieste from Lil's Gate by Gate Dancer. Bred in Kentucky by Gaines Gentry Thoroughbreds and owned by Gary and Mary West, trained by Bobby Frankel and ridden to victory by Jose Lezcano. Dream Lady covers the 1 1/8 at Monmouth Park in 1 minute 49 and 1. We're going to head right back down to Monmouth Park now and Sunday's running of the ungraded Mongo Queen for 3-year-old filly sprinters. Let's head back to New Jersey in the Mongo Queen.
They're racing in the Mongo Queen. And it's Magic Skier out of the gate quickly. New Hope 7 coming through on the inside now to take the lead. It'll be New Hope 7 who sets the pace. Now G-City Gal has taken over second. Then Handle Woman on the far outside, Magic Skier, and Lulu's Number in that group as well. A long way back to Livermore Valley, who's got 8 lengths to make up. The first quarter, 21 and 2/5 seconds. New Hope 7 into the far turn at a brisk pace. Alongside is G-City Gal. Handle Woman, 3 deep just outside the leaders. It's 4 lengths back to Magic Skier. Livermore Valley is down on the rail, and here she comes. She's 5 lengths off the lead, but she's under a ride back there. Then it's Lulu's Number, a 44 flat half mile. They're into the stretch. New Hope 7 very wide as they turn for home. G-City Gal, Handle Woman, and Livermore Valley comes to a commodious opening on the inside and goes by them all. Livermore Valley has taken the lead. Opening up 2 from G-City Gal and New Hope 7, and Livermore Valley wins the Mongo Queen by 3.5 lengths. G-City Gal was second, and then New Hope 7 third.
Livermore Valley, a filly that we saw over the winter time down in New York at the Big A, rallies to win by 2 3/4 lengths after a sluggish start. G-City Gal finishing second after pressing the pace as the favorite. She was carried out somewhat on the turn as New Hope 7 did spiral outwards and take G-City Gal with her, perhaps to her disadvantage. The winner, Livermore Valley, is a dark bay or brown daughter of Mount Livermore from Secret Prospect by Allen's Prospect. Bred in Maryland by Robert Hahn and owned by the Conover Stable, trained by Jim Ryerson and ridden to victory by Jose Lezcano. Mongo Queen winner Livermore Valley covers the 6 furlongs in 1:09 and 3. We're going to head to Louisiana Downs next for 4 stakes races on Saturday, of course highlighted by the Super Derby. A terrific day of racing in Louisiana, beginning in the stakes program with the Harrah's Juvenile for 2-year-olds at $100,000 purse, 1 1/16 on the grass. Let's head down to Louisiana and the Harrah's Juvenile.
They're in the gate. And they're off. Good start for Legrandoro from the outside, who's racing for the lead. Stockbroker is there. Rahi Strada far outside. Locomotion. 4 or 5 horses up top as they race by us for the first time. Legrandoro to be the pace setter, though. Stockbroker is right on the inside in second, and Carlos Gonzalez takes a firm hold of Locomotion off the pace today to run along in third. Bird is the word, runs along in fourth. Benko on the inside is 5th. Rahi Strada 3 wide round the first turn in 6th position. Going Ballistic is 7th. Manthea is 8th. And Western Prize is the trailer. And the quarter was 24 2/5 seconds as they begin to run up the backstretch. Stockbroker 3 parts of a length in front over Le Grandero, who's applying mild pressure on the outside in second. Locomotion cruises up on the outside third. Bird is the word, is 4th with a half mile to go. Benko toward the inside is 5th. Manthea has advanced now to be 6th. Going Ballistic is 7th. Rahi Strada on the far outside in 8th. Western Prize is 9th, but only 5 lengths off the leaders as the field rounds the far turn. Stockbroker still there. Half a length in front through 3/4 and 1:13 flat as they make their way to the top of the stretch. Bird is the word with a 4 wide flourish on the outside, and just like that, Bird is the word takes charge as they turn into the stretch. Going Ballistic to the attack on the outside in second. Western Prize is rallying down the center of the course in third. Bird is the word. Going Ballistic closer with every stride. Bird is the word. Tenacious on the outside. Going Ballistic. Here's the line. Bird is the word. By a half a length over Going Ballistic. Farther back, Western Prize. A photo for 4th between Rahi Strada and Locomotion.
Bird is the word, and Robbie Alvarado was to have a terrific day on Super Derby Day down in Louisiana, getting the win by a half a length at 6-1 over the favorite Going Ballistic, who was a little bit short coming up the stretch, just fell short by about that half a length, but a nice effort nonetheless. Western Prize rallies strongly from off the pace to finish 3rd. The winner, Bird is the word, a dark Bayer Brown son of Pure Prize from Bircha by Rocky Mountain, was bred in Florida by Lucy Edwards and Randall Edwards, owned by Raymond H. Cottrell Sr., trained by Ken McPeak and ridden to victory by Robbie Alvarado. Bird is the word at 1 1/16 on the turf in Louisiana in 1 minute 42 2. We'll head right back to Louisiana Downs now in the Marie P. DeBartolo Oaks. $200,000 at 1 1/16. Once again on the turf, this time for 3-year-old fillies. Let's return to Louisiana and the DeBartolo Oaks.
They're in the gate and the rough. From mid-pack, Rich Fantasy showing the way, but here's Miss Galloping Gulch toward the inside, who takes early initiative here. Miss Galloping Gulch 3 parts of a length in front. Rich Fantasy under a snug hold is right up and on this pace on the outside, and those two under the line together. Brownie Points comes on to be 3rd. Dinah Slam is 4th and toward the inside. Dancing Band is 5th. Palace Rumor will be caught 4 wide into the first turn, while 6. Charming and Lovable has settled into 7th now, surrounded by horses near the back of the pack. And then it's Never So Elegant, and the trailer is Alley's Vow. But it's a very tight pack here as they begin the run into the backstretch. In the opening quarter, a reasonable 24 4/5 seconds. Rich Fantasy, narrow lead over Miss Galloping Gulch, who is right alongside in second. Dancing Band is up on the pace, 3 wide in third. Brownie Points is 4th, 2.5 lengths off the lead with a half mile to go. Palace Rumor is there 5th, 3 lengths off the lead. Charming and Lovable is nicely moving, while 6 on the inside is Dinah Slam in 7th. Alley's Vow is 8th. At the back of the pack is Never So Elegant. And Rich Fantasy has taken over the lead now. It's Rich Fantasy in front, pulling clear a length. Dancing Band is moving 2nd. Here comes Palace Rumor. Brownie Points is there. Alley's Vow, Charming and Lovable is going to need racing room as the field turns for home, and Rich Fantasy cuts the corner, leads by 2 outside the final furlong. Here comes Charming and Lovable, let loose from between horses. Brownie Points in with a chance. Alley's Vow down the center of the course. 4 of them into the final 100 yards together, and Brownie Point strikes the lead to win the Marie DeBartolo Oaks in the final strides over Alley's Vow, Charming and Lovable, and Rich Fantasy.
Brownie Points and Luis Quinones making the lead and holding sway by a length at 6-1, 25-1 long shot. Alley's Vow finishing in the 2nd spot with a nice rally. Also rallying well was Charming and Lovable to finish in the 3rd spot. The pacemaker Rich Fantasy could do no better than 4th. The winner, Brownie Points, is a chestnut filly, a daughter of Forest Wildcat from Stylish Society by 49er. Bred in Kentucky by the Pin Oak Stud and owned by the Pin Oak Stable. Trained by Donnie Von Hemmel and ridden to victory by Luis Quinones. Brownie Points covers the 1 1/16 on the turf at Louisiana Downs in 1 minute 42 1. Next up, of course, the Grade 2 Super Derby for 3-year-olds, $500,000, a mile and an eighth the distance. Let's head back to Louisiana and the Super Derby.
They're in the gate. And they're off. In Super Derby 27, it was not the best of starts for Point Determined, but his eyes came away well and races for the lead as they come by us for the first time. And Costa Rising angles in from the outside to press the pace from second, and Lawyer Ron is up and on the pace as well. And three of them across the track as they hit the first turn. His eyes on the inside, the pace setter, Lawyer Ron, applying the pressure right alongside in second. Costa Rising backs off now and settles into third. Strong Contender is fourth and on the inside. Point Determined alongside Majestic Stream. It's a gap of 5 back to Lewisburg, who takes up his usual position at the back of the pack. The quarter in 23-3. It's Lawyer Ron now to take the lead, much to the resistance of John McKee. Lawyer Ron opens up by 2 with 5 furlongs to go. His eyes is second, and here comes Costa Rising. He's moving early too, 3 wide and up and after the leaders with a half mile to go. Strong Contender has a poised presence fourth and in behind the leaders now. And then it's Point Determined in fifth, called on for more run. Majestic Stream in Lewisburg. 3 furlongs from home. Lawyer Ron, Costa Rising, Strong Contender begins to uncoil his run. Here he comes from third, but it's Lawyer Ron the one to catch. Lawyer Ron passes the quarter pole, and Lawyer Ron turns it on. But Costa Rising to the attack, and here's Strong Contender now into the final furlong of the Super Derby. Lawyer Ron, Johnny McKee's all over him. Strong Contender, Robbie Alvarado coming after him. 100 yards to go. Lawyer Ron, Strong Contender forges past. And Strong Contender has won the Super Derby over Lawyer Ron. It was 5 lengths back to a photo for third between Lewisburg and Costa Rising. The time of the race, 1:48-3.
Strong Contender finally getting that elusive big win. We may remember him from earlier on in the season. The race that they thought that he was going to get in at Turfway Park overfilled. He was not able to get his needed Derby prep and needed Derby money to get into the Kentucky Derby. It may have turned out to be a blessing, as this very big son of Marie Isman has developed quite nicely after taking on some pretty serious Grade 1 company over the summer. Gets a little bit of class relief dropping into Grade 2 and picks up the 1-length victory over the favored Lawyer Ron, who was extremely aggressive and rank, in fact, in the early going with John McKee. Looked like he might be willing to sit back off of his eyes, but he went up and engaged, got into a bit of a tussle with that horse, won the battle, but lost the war. A Strong Contender was able to get him. Lewisburg rallies from off the pace to complete the top 3. The winner, Strong Contender, is a 3-year-old chestnut colt, a son of Marie Isman from Copenhagen by Dinah Former. Bred in Kentucky by the Ara Santa Maria de Araras and owned by John Oxley. Trained by John Ward and ridden to victory by Robbie Alvarado. Strong Contender covers the 9 furlongs at Louisiana in 1:48-3. We're going to head right back to the Louisiana Downs turf now, and the Harrah's Louisiana Downs Breeders' Cup Handicap, $200,000 for older horses on the grass. Let's head back down to Louisiana and the Louisiana Downs Breeders' Cup.
And they're off. We All Love Elena stumbled coming out of the starting gate, shuffled back a bit. Here's Warrior's Song now to show some early speed as they come by us for the first time. Warrior's Song moves out to lead by 2. Salic Law from the outside post is up and on this pace as well. Spruce's Prince is forwardly placed to be third. One Tough Fox settles in fourth and along the rail. On the outside, We All Love Elena tries to recover, now moves up into fourth. One Tough Fox is back to fifth. Royal Price is 6th, and on the inside, Ronius ID is sandwiched in between horses running along in 7th. Matt Adam is 3 wide in 8th. The gap at 2 to Don't Bother Knocking. Another 3 to Ruckus, who's alongside Dreams and Visions, who's 5 lengths ahead of Wapaka. And the opening quarter was 23 4/5 seconds as they race down the backstretch. Warrior's Song in front, 3 parts of a length. Salic Law, only mild pressure on the outside, second. We All Love Elena cruises up on the far outside, third, while Spruce's Prince traps in behind the horses running in fourth, less than a half mile to go. There too is Erroneous ID on the far outside. Down along the rail is Royal Price. In the meantime, One Tough Fox is summoned, but still 3 lengths behind. Don't Bother Knocking and Robbie Alvarado are knocking off horses one by one. 2 furlongs to go. Coming to the top of the stretch, Warrior Song still in control. Salic Law there. Spruce's Prince to the inside. On the outside, here's We All Love Elena. Don't Bother Knocking down the center of the course. Erroneous ID and One Tough Fox. 1 furlong to go. Don't Bother Knocking wrestles that lead away from We All Love Elena. Spruce's Prince toward the inside. Erroneous ID late run. 70 yards to go. Man, Robbie Alvarado today. He's won 3 of the stakes races at Harrah's Louisiana Downs. Don't Bother Knocking does it. Photo finished for second between Erroneous ID, We All Love Elena, and Spruce's Prince.
Don't Bother Knocking. And again, Robbie Alvarado picking up yet another victory, a stakes victory on this card, this time with a perfectly timed move from off the pace to win by 2 from Spruce's Prince with We All Love Elena, a solid campaigner going middle distances on the turf, completing the top 3. The winner, Don't Bother Knocking, a bay gelding, a son of Farm Away from Fling Ding by Jungle Savage, was bred in Kentucky by North Central Bloodstock and is owned by Frank F. Jedlicki. Trained by Brunel Roan and ridden to victory by Robbie Alvarado. Don't Bother Knocking covers the mile in a 16th on the turf in 1 minute 41 and 3. Before we leave Louisiana Downs, I want to give some kudos to a local gentleman, Travis Stone. Here, we've seen him here on the network from time to time, quite some time ago. He is now the race caller down at Louisiana Downs. This was so far his biggest day of racing, and I think he's doing a terrific job. Congratulations, Travis, on your success. We are going to pause for one more brief message, and when we return, we'll be heading to Woodbine and then taking a look at some stakes racing action over the weekend at Belmont Park. Please stay with us. Welcome back to Horses and Courses. We're going to continue now at Woodbine and Sunday's running of the Sky Classic. This is Canadian Grade 2, $300,000, a mile and 3/8 on the turf course. Let's head to Woodbine and the Sky Classic.
They're at the post. They're off in the Sky Classic Stakes. Jambalaya. Last Dancer, Pellegrino to the outside, then Grand Couturier, Better Talk Now, is quickly angled over to the fence. Then Silver Whistle and In the Hand, Colorful Judgment as they make their way up to the back stretch. And it's Last Dancer who's emerged with the early lead. Last Dancer, Emil Ramsamy trying to harness some of that speed, leads Jambalaya by 2 as they take that hairpin into the back stretch. Last Dancer wrangled back in front. Jambalaya second, Pellegrino's to the inside third. The lone 3-year-old in here, Grand Couturier, is to the inside fourth. Then the gray Silver Whistle, Better Talk Now, In Hand, and second to last has one beat, and that's Colorful Judgment. And it's Last Dancer bounding along through an opening half mile in 50 4/5 of a second on this yielding E.P. Taylor turf course. Last Dancer by 3 with just under 6 furlongs to run. Jambalaya second. Then Pellegrino, Grand Couturier's to the inside. Silver Whistle, 5th and 6 lengths from the front. Then Better Talk Now and Colorful Judgment. They're getting closer to Last Answer as they sweep into the turn. They got 3/4 in 15 2. Last Answer has led every step of the way with just under a half mile remaining now. And its last answer, a length and a half. Jambalaya Pellegrino. Mike Smith calls on Silver Whistle for more run, gaining ground on the outside. In behind horses, Grand Couturier, the 2004 Breeders' Cup Turf winner. Better Talk Now is wheeled to the outside, has 5 lengths to make up and a quarter of a mile to do it. Last answer is put to a drive. Jambalaya comes on the outside now. And it's Jambalaya on the outside to the inside. Last answer, Better Talk Now. We'll have to catch Jambalaya in the final furlong. Jambalaya digs down deep. Better Talk Now, and Ramon Dominguez straight front in the final 16th of a mile. Better Talk Now coming back. Jambalaya, and last answer, a Sky Classic nail biter.
In a very exciting 3-horse photo finish, Better Talk Now, coming back off of a disappointing try last time out behind the Tin Man in Chicago. Better Talk Now gets the head victory over Jambalaya. Another nose back to Last Answer, the early pace setter, who's breaking his streak of second place finishes by finishing third. The winner, Better Talk Now, is now 3 for 36, lifetime career earnings of over $2.93 million. He is a dark Bayer Brown 7-year-old gelded son of Talkin' Man from Bendita by Baldsky, bred in Kentucky by the Wimborne Farm and owned by Bushwood Stable, trained by Graham Motion and ridden to victory by Ramon Dominguez. Better Talk Now covers the mile and 3/8 on that sweeping turf course labeled Yielding in 2:18 and 2. We're going to next take a look at the Flaming Page from Sunday, $100,000 for older fillies and mares, also on the grass. Let's head back to Woodbine and the Flaming Page.
They're off in the Flaming Page Stakes. And it's Morani toward the inside. Noble Stella, and from the outside, Foamy Water. Alea angles closer to the rail. Then Virginia Plain, and galloping along at the back of the pack is Moondolly. And they head toward the backstretch, and it's Morani. Morani has the lead to Foamy Water. Noble Stella in hand. Toward the inside, third. Then Alea, Virginia Plain, and Moondolly. The opening quarter was in 25 and 3 as the reins commence here at Woodbine. They head toward the backstretch. Morani by 2. Foamy Water continues to track. Noble Stella reserved just off the early pace in third. There's 7 lengths to Alea in fourth. 5 more to Virginia Plain. Moondolly still trails as they move along the backstretch. Morani isolated on the lead. Midpoint of the C.P. Taylor Turf Course backstretch. Morani leads it by 3.5. Noble Stella's improved to second now. Foamy Water third. Alea's way back in fourth and a dozen lengths off the lead. In behind Alea, Virginia Plain, then Moondolly. They got 3/4 in 1:15 and 2/5. And they head toward the far turn, still chasing Morani. Mike Smith sitting patiently on Noble Stella in second. Foamy Water back in third. Alea still a dozen lengths off the lead. Virginia Plain, Moondolly, they come to the 3/8 pole. Ramsamy still front ends it with Morani. Noble Stella inches ever closer. Noble Stella just waiting for the green light from Mike Smith with less than 3/8 to go. And it's Morani as they come over to the head of the lane. Noble Stella waiting. And they hit the top of the stretch. Morani at the quarter pole. Noble Stella gets a cue now. On the outside, Foamy Water is in third position. 3/16 remain. Morani's gained to the inside and to the outside. Noble Stella's in an all-out drive. Noble Stella, a very game, a very persistent, a very stubborn Morani has got the best of Noble Stella. And it's Morani and Emil Ramsamy, upset winners of the Flaming Page. Noble Stella was second and Foamy Water third.
Morani picking up the win over the favored Noble Stella, who is coming in off of a stakes win right here at the Spa. Foamy Water completing the order of the top 3 with a stalking trip at 23-1. The winner, Morani, is a chestnut filly, a daughter of Distorted Humor from Grand Splash by Buck Splasher. Bred in Kentucky by the River Run Farm and owned by Argosa Farm. Trained by Michael Keogh and ridden to victory by Emil Ramsamy. Murani covers the 1.5 miles on the turf course labeled Yielding in 2:33 and 4. We'll head to Belmont Park now. 5 stakes over the weekend, beginning with the Noble Damsel for 3 and up, fillies and mares at 1 mile on the turf. Let's head down to Belmont Park and Saturday's running of the Noble Damsel.
And they're off. Sabalina breaks on top. And Humoristic has some early speed. And there goes Pomfret now coming on through between horses as they make their way into the backstretch run. Sabalina broke well, but has now been wrangled back to the back of the pack. And that has left Pomfret with a clear early lead. And Pomfret opens up quickly by 3. Humoristic runs along in second. On the outside, Bright Abundance is third. On the inside, it's Safari Queen fourth. And Karen's Caper has come out in 5th position, about 6 or 7 lengths from the front runner. Then on the outside, it's Sabalina. At the back of the pack, Prop Me Up. And the French filly, Maralacana, is the last of them all. Down the backstretch run. Pomfret in front. Jose Santos trying to harness that speed of hers. The quarter that went in 24 seconds flat, with Pomfret leading by 3 as they move into the far turn. Humoristic second after a half and 48 and 1/5 seconds. Sabalina tugs her way up third on the outside. Bright Abundance is fourth. Karen's Caper now well within striking range. 4 lengths away from Pomfret coming to the quarter pole. Then down toward the inside at Safari Queen, followed by Prop Me Up. And Maralacana is still the trailer, but she's only 5 from the lead. They hit the top of the stretch. Pomfret is still the leader. Sabalina, here comes Karen's Caper on the outside. And Maralacana down the middle of the track, down to the final 16th. Pomfret trying to gut it out for another 100 yards. Karen's Caper runs at her 50 yards from home, and Karen's Caper got it. Pomfret, a half-length loser, followed by Maralacana, and it was close for fourth there. Humoristic of Bright Abundance.
Karen's Caper, disappointing last time out up at Saratoga. Turns out that she threw a shoe in her allowance 4th place finish up here, but came back with a very nice performance to run down Pomfret, who did get loose on the lead, and she is a tough customer when loose on the lead. Maralacana making her American debut from off the pace under Garrett Gomez, close to finish well, finishing 3rd. The winner, Karen's Caper, is a bay filly, a daughter of War Chant from Miss Caroliana by Caroleon, bred in Kentucky by the Stoner Side Stable and owned by the breeder. Trained by Bobby Frankel, who's having an outstanding season at Belmont Park thus far this fall. It appears that Karen's Caper will be pointed for the First Lady at Keeneland next, followed by a try at the Grade 1 Matriarch at Hollywood Park at the end of the season. Karen's Caper covers the mile on the Belmont turf course labeled Firm in 1:34 and 4. Pair of juvenile stakes now, beginning with the Grade 1 Matron for 2-year-old fillies, $250,000. Let's head down to Belmont and Tom Durkin's call of the Matron.
And they're off. And Magical Ride breaking alertly, and she's going right to the lead. And there goes Featherbed from the inside. Cash's Girl in between them along with Meadow Breeze. Octave has come out 5th, and the early trailer is Eternal Grace. But it's Featherbed to be the leader, and there goes Meadow Breeze to her on the outside. 2 lengths back, and Magical Ride is now dropping 3 lengths off the lead, now running 3rd through an opening quarter in 22 and 3/5 seconds. The field moving into the far turn. Featherbed in front. Meadow Breeze alongside. Then farther back, the trio of Octave, Cash's Girl, and Magical Ride, who's on the far outside. Eternal Grace is now asked to pick it up, the trailer, 6 lengths from the leader. The leader is Featherbed. Featherbed leads. Meadow Breeze working harder to try to stay with her. Magical Ride now making her move on the far outside 3rd. Octave is just in behind the lead in an all-out drive 4th. Cash's King is 5th, followed by Eternal Grace, and now the field turns for home, and it's still Featherbed. Featherbed in front. On the inside, Octave putting in a bid. On the outside, Meadow Breeze. And Magical Ride has stopped badly in the stretch. They're in the final furlong here, and it's Featherbed digging down. On the outside, Long Shot, Meadow Breeze. Octave at the rail. They're coming down to the wire. Meadow Breeze trying to pull it off. Octave at the rail, and between them, Featherbed. Then Three Noses on the wire. 35-1 Meadow Breeze was there, along with Octave and Featherbed in between them. Three of them in a line, and the